55-minute boat ride will take us over some rather rough water. The island of Saint-Pierre was formed by a volcano whose dormant peak overlooks the town. Here are a few facts about Saint-Pierre and Miquelon. The islands were settled very early by Europeans because of their proximity to the rich fishing grounds. France and England fought over them for over 100 years, and they were finally given to France by the Treaty of Paris in 1814. The islands were controlled by Nazi-controlled Vichy France in World War II, but were retaken by the Free French in 1941. The realization that I was truly in France didn't hit me at first, but seeing all the typical European establishments, having to use the euro as currency, The town of Scituate was first settled in 1627 and was incorporated in 1636. It was primarily a fishing village on the Massachusetts South Shore, 25 miles from Boston. It has a great harbor with solid granite breakwaters. My purpose in coming to Scituate today is to learn more about its famous lighthouse. The U.S. Congress voted in 1810 to build a lighthouse on this spot and appropriated $4,000 for its implementation. The structure was completed in 1811, 2 months ahead of schedule. The federal government used the lighthouse sporadically for the next 100 years, but in 1917 the town of Scituate bought it for $4,000, the same amount it had been built for. The first lighthouse keeper was Simeon Bates, who occupied the adjoining 1.5-story keeper's house with his wife and 9 children. Today, it's a private home. We are at the town of Kourou, K-O-U-R-O-U, which is about 60 kilometers northwest of the city of Cayenne. And behind me, the Atlantic Ocean, with it, 3 little islands that are sitting out there. They're kind of in the mist right now, but they are out there, 3 of them. And the furthest out, the smallest of the 3, is a very famous island. That is Devil's Island, l'Île du Diable. And that's, of course, where the famous Papillon adventure took place, if you saw that movie or read that book. This is a signal tower on the mainland, named after one of Devil Island's more famous inmates, Alfred Dreyfus, wrongly condemned of treason. Facing Kourou is the opposite of the Dreyfus Tower. Using these towers, the French were able to communicate between the island and the mainland. Gloucester, America's first seaport, has all the charm of a New England town and then some. With a magnificent harbor, a prosperous fishing fleet, spectacular lighthouses and sandy beaches, Gloucester is above all a fishing town, and almost all its permanent settlers came for that one reason.
Step over off the left-hand side of the vessel now. That island we are passing is 10 Pound Island. So there are 2 theories as to how this island received its name. The first theory is that it was purchased the Agawam Indians for 10 pounds of silver. That foghorn kind of The statue was commissioned in 1923 on the 300th anniversary of the settlement of Gloucester and was actually placed on Stacey Boulevard in 1927.
Just south of St. John's is the Cape Spear Lighthouse. It sits on a high cliff above the North Atlantic Ocean. This site is the most easterly point on the North American continent. The lighthouse keeper's home has been restored to its 19th century look and is a great place to visit. Let's visit the tallest lighthouse in eastern Canada.
Welcome to Point Moral Lighthouse. And I work between here and the visitor center in Clare. One wall is 6.5 feet thick and 2.5 feet at the top.
6.5 feet thick,
Yeah.
all stone.
And all the rock was core just a couple kilometers away.
Okay, so we're gonna climb. How many feet up to the top? Or you do everything in meters, right?
109 feet to the top of the light, and 125 to the top of the lightning rod.
Oh boy.
There's 122 steps.
Well, I'm old, but I guess we'll try it.
I guess. And this is the bottom of the lighthouse light, which is just up above us here. With the Fresnel lens, the light can be seen up to 18 to 20 miles away, but it's pretty good visibility.
And yet the bulb itself is not that big, right?
Now it's only a standard 200 watt bulb.
And it can be seen way out to sea.
Yeah.
Now why are there 3 bulbs there?
Well, in case one of them happened to blow or something happened to go wrong, one of the other 3 will spin up into position and click, and then it will begin to.
So it's a triple safety system.
Yeah, yeah.
Outside the lighthouse are the remains of Italian radio inventor Marconi's wireless telegraph station. Only ruins now, but once a major stepping stone in building global communications.